It's time to talk about rhythm, folks. Now, I've been teaching music a long time, been playing ukulele a long time, but I'm a percussionist in my first life and a drummer. And I want to help you right now as a drummer, percussionist, and music educator to help you get your rhythm together and get in the pocket, as we like to say. What is getting in the pocket? It's just playing in time. It's playing a groove. It's playing in rhythm, but when it feels good, so you get a groove going. Before we get to the groove part, let's just talk about timing and rhythm. I know a lot of people struggle with playing in time, playing to a metronome. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'm going to show you how to use a metronome to guide your timing and your strumming, and then how you can use it to challenge yourself and grow as a musician, get that timing developed. Because without good timing, it's just not that fun for people to hear you play and sing along. If you're accompanying a song, if you're accompanying a sing-along or playing in a band, you've just gotta bring it. You gotta bring that groove, all right? So here's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna give you a process that you can use in your own practice, and hopefully it'll be fun and challenging and useful for you, and I want to help you grow as a musician. So here's what we're going to do. Super easy. You'll need some sort of metronome for this. I'm using an old school, like analog metronome down here, but you can use any app or whatever. You'll probably even find some online metronomes. I think there's some. So you're going to get a metronome. I've got mine set to 60 beats a minute right now, but I also have it playing subdivisions of 16th notes. So 4 beats every second, right? 60 beats is 1 second. Here's what that sounds like. 1E and 2E and 3E and So that's where we're going to start, and you're going to strum up and down to those clicks. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now, if that's a little fast for you, you can always slow it down. Take this and modulate it however you need to modulate it, slower or faster. I'm just going to use 60 because it's a nice number. So here's what that sounds like. You're going to start with this, and then you're going to play any up and down strums you want, and just make sure it's lining up as best you can with the clicks. And you can do anything you want. You can mute the strings. I was playing a C7 chord. Doesn't matter. We're not focusing on chords right now, so make it easy on yourself so you have a bit of focus and attention that you can dedicate towards your strumming. So I don't want you doing anything that feels really challenging chord-wise. All right. So you're going to hang out there for a little bit and strum and just see if you can relax, of course, up and down. I'm going at a fairly quick tempo because going too slow, going at a slow tempo is actually harder than going at a medium tempo or even a little bit quicker. So sometimes you just want to go with a movement that's comfortable. All right, so that's the first thing. Then we're going to thin this out a little bit. And on this metronome, I can pull down different subdivisions. So I'm going to pull away the 16ths. And now I'm going to do the same strumming, but I'm just going to have that. All right, so not as much guidance now, right? No, guess what's coming up? Yep, you figured it out. I'm going to fade away what are now eighth notes, and we're just going to be left with what we call quarter notes, right? Or the steady beat, the 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do that. And same thing. Okay, when you feel comfortable with that, this is where it gets interesting. Now we're at 60. I'm going to dial this all the way down to, 35. That's as low as it goes, which is a little bit quicker on the quarter note. It would be at 70 beats a minute quarter notes, but I went half of that, so 35. So let's listen to that, and then I'm going to try to do the same strumming. It's going to be a little faster, but basically the same strumming I was doing, and it'll be a little more challenging. So here's 35 beats. and I'm already thinking in my head, that's audiation, right? When you think, you hear something in your mind. So get that going, and then go for it. It should feel familiar. I mean, you want to do the same thing you were just doing. And see if you can land right on that beat. You can have some fun with it like that. So this is the idea. We call this fading, or just removing the guide, right? You're removing the guide rails. You're starting off with, if you will, you could make a lot of analogies with this. You got graph paper with a lot of squares, and then you're going to go draw something and really pay attention to all those little squares. And then eventually you can remove those guides and maybe just have a couple big ones, or maybe no guides, and still, draw or play or strum what you want to play. Now, in my experience, and I've taught a lot of people ukulele over the years, and a lot of music teachers, most people have a tendency to want to rush. Well, not to want to rush, but they end up rushing. It's like they can't wait to get to the next beat. And what I would recommend is to A, relax, B, make a bigger strumming pattern. If you're rushing, it means you're getting to the notes early, right? So if you do a little bit bigger movement, that should take you longer. It might temper that feeling of like just rushing, or it might temper the tendency to rush if you just make a bigger movement. All right, so you could practice in a mirror or video yourself, whatever you need to do to get a feel for how your particular style is affecting the way you relate to rhythm. But that strategy right there is a great strategy to help you develop your rhythm and timing. It becomes more challenging, and quite challenging, as we get that click with more space. Now you can maybe figure out a way to have the click even farther apart, like one whole measure, 4 beats. My metronome won't do that, but maybe you can create something or find something online that would. So that would go all the way down to 60, you can go 60 and then 15, or 60, 30, 15. So 15 clicks a minute, right? So not too many. All right, so use that strategy, relax, use movement distance to help control or mitigate that tendency to rush. Or if you're dragging, which means if you're behind the beat, you're showing up late, you could tighten up your strumming, go a little bit smaller with the strumming. That might help you, all right? But if you reach a point where you're kind of falling apart, you're not able to stay on the cycle, go back up to the next level where you have more clicks. Once you're comfortable there and you're able to do that, then try the one where you have fewer clicks and see how you do, all right? And practice. And you know what? Don't beat yourself up. It takes time. Music, although certain instruments are accessible and we all like to talk about how easy the ukulele is to play, it doesn't mean that everything you do is easy, right? Playing in time, playing rhythm is one of the most challenging parts of music. It's one of the things that percussionists and any accomplished musician really spends a lot of time on. And when we get into starting to talk about the groove or the feel, then we're adding another layer of what we call micro timing. And that gets into, where things sound like a professional's playing it. But the first step is just to play the big timing pieces, meaning, on the beat, basically. So I hope this helps. Again, be kind to yourself when you're practicing, but be honest and just, take a baseline of where you are. You can use this as a way to figure out where you are, and then be honest with yourself and just start there and practice every day, practice several times a day, and you'll make progress, all right? And if this works for you, come back and leave it in the comments and tell us. Or if you have something else to add, you'd like to add another tip that's related to this, leave it in the comments. Of course, like, subscribe, hit the bell and all that stuff. This is the Ukulele Club channel. I'm Kalani, and I wish you well in all your ukulele pursuits, and I'll see you soon.